to me, the most fun of doing this TV show because we get to meet people that are new to the island, new to our team, and we're quite lucky and fortunate that we have been able to bring together some of the best and the finest in all the categories that we have on the island. And one of the most important areas, obviously, is the food and beverage department. And recently, we brought Kanad in as our food and beverage director, hospitality. But without someone in that kitchen, someone that's going to run that kitchen, run the chefs, keep things going, put the menus together, it sort of isn't a complete team. And one of the first things Kanad did when he came here is he recognized the fact that we needed an executive chef. And that's who I want to introduce. We have now Anthony LaPape, one of the finest executive chefs. You come to us from the Ritz-Carlton chain, I understand?
Yes, from the Ritz-Carlton.
So I'd love you to introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us a little about yourself and where you came from. And how does one become an executive chef is what I think most people would love to hear.
All right. I started my career, I would say now 30 years ago, around 30 years ago. I graduated from school. I'm actually from France, originally from France, and I traveled all around the world. Started in England and then went back to a few places in France, worked in a Michelin star restaurant and move on. I started with Disney. I wanted to travel the world. I moved and I started with Disney Cruise Line in '98. I did the opening for the cruise line and I worked as a sous chef over there. And then after that, I opened the Paris, Las Vegas. I was there as a J1. I was 20-something years old, 28, I think. And my venture moved on to different countries. I went to Brazil, Kuwait. People asked me why I was going to Kuwait. I said I was actually working in the Italian restaurant for a French chef. You know, people were always asking the question, why you want to work in an Italian restaurant. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to see different cuisine, different way of doing things, you know, so that's why.
Well, I imagine traveling around like you've done, you get a taste for all these flavors of different countries.
Correct. So I don't usually only cook French food, you know. Obviously, it's the basic for me, but I can work around with Asian food. I love Thai food. I cook a lot of Latin food. The last two restaurants that I worked with was more Latin, so Peruvian, more Argentinian as well, food. So that's mostly what I've been doing for the last 5 years, probably. Yeah.
So let me ask you: you come here, and obviously this is a club atmosphere.
Right.
So unlike a hotel where every 4 or 5 days there's a new group of people that come in, you get married to 2,000 families, and they're here all the time.
Right.
How do you keep the menu exciting? What do you, when you come in, you analyze the kitchen, you look at the menu, you look at the demographics, and then what do you do with that menu? How do you decide what to do with it now?
We just started on Monday. We added a Mediterranean menu, so to actually trying to introduce a little bit the flair that I want to bring in as well to. With some of the popular nights that we already have, I'm not going to touch that, you know. No. Lobster, for example, there's a demand for it, so I'm not going to touch that. But I want also from the member to let me know what they want to have on the menu. Before I start doing any changes, I want to know and be familiar with everybody and familiar with what they like to have on the menu as well. And then when this is ready, then I'm bringing some different theme. We'll probably do some grill when it comes to April, May, maybe in those area we do some grill outside and next to the tennis court and have a lot of fun. Basically, that's what I want. I want to come here and have fun. You know?
Because it's interesting. Because somebody said to me once, somebody with this great expertise as you have, being a great chef from all over the world, you come to a restaurant where pretty much the menu itself has to be set up for the masses. Can't be too much of a gourmet because obviously we have to cover a lot of demographics and different variables of the people.
Right.
But at the same token, you do have the ability to have specialty nights and creativity nights and do all kinds of things. So it keeps you excited about what you're doing, I'm sure.
And I've been doing this in the past as well, yes. I've been doing, I work on cruise ship and it's the same thing as working here. You change menu every day. and lunch and dinner. So those kind of things, and we do high volume. I was working in a cruise ship, and we were doing how do you say that? We were doing fine dining on the restaurant, and we were changing menus every day. So every day you have completely different prep, completely different atmosphere as well in a restaurant. So I'm already familiar with all this.
Somebody once asked me, I have to have a restaurant, so they asked me, how do you, as a chef, not me, how do you balance food cost with the excitement of something special to serve to the people? Because obviously we have to maintain a food cost, we have a budget, et cetera, but at the same token, you have to, within the confines of that budget, create something spectacular. How do you balance this?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, especially right now with a lot of price increase happen in the industry since COVID and everything. So some of the items and some of the chefs look at it and say, oh, I should not be buying any lobster because it's way too expensive. But you need to give value to the people that come to eat anyway. Sometimes you could just make simple. Doesn't mean, for me, a dish doesn't mean it has to be complicated. And too many steps when you cook the food will not make it the best. Doesn't mean because you have 5 different items is perfect for me. When you have 10 items for one dish, it's probably too much.
Yeah.
Because that means you play too much already with the food. So keep it simple. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
And we.
Have you found, because of the supply chain problems that we're experiencing, you're having trouble getting food?
We do. Yes.
You are?
We do. We do anything, paper supply or any food item.
I was going to say, because I'm hearing that a lot of restaurants can't get certain foods, or certain meats, or certain chickens, whatever the items, or vegetables.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard to imagine in this world that we live in, that there's a shortage.
There is a shortage, yeah. And
now, does this affect the price and cost of these things?
Right, and a lot of it is because the people are short-staffed, and they have a problem getting a driver to come to us, basically.
Really?
Yeah. Like key lime pie, we had an issue with getting graham crumbs, just to make the shell for the key lime pie, and for moth. Not being able to do that. We were buying. Also, the bizarre thing is to me, when you ask big distributor, they can't find those items, but when you go in the supermarket, you can find them.
They were all over that, yeah.
So there's something I have a hard time to understand as well. But
well, I won't keep you because I know you have to go back and make dinner. But I want to thank you and welcome you. We want to welcome Chef Anthony. You'll be here. I'm sure you'll be seen on the floor visiting the restaurant and visiting our customers.
Yes.
But we welcome you, and we're thrilled to have you here. And I'm thrilled that Kanat was able to get you to come join us. And I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.